welcome everybody to our Medina Candidates Night here at Kiwanis. You can probably figure out this is not a public forum. It's one to educate and inform our Kiwanians here that live in the city and the school system. I want to let you know that I have very little skin in this game because I don't live in the school system, I don't live in the city, I don't even live in the park district, but I do have to vote on McDack. So there is one thing on this that's very important to me, Sheriff. Okay. So not all the candidates showed up that said they would. So we will, even though I told you 3 minutes and you were told 4 minutes before, because there are a few missing today. If you want 4 minutes, you will have 4 minutes. And Julie up here in front will be timing you. She'll put up a little sign that says 3, that gives you 3 minutes. She'll just catch your eye and then she'll put it down. When it gets to be 1 minute, she'll put up 1, catch your eye up here at the podium, then she'll put it down. She'll let you know when there's 30 seconds left, and then the big old 0 goes up. Then you are done. We're going to have everybody speak first. And then if there's time at the end of the hour, I'm hoping there will be, we'll take questions. And I'm also asking the candidates to stay after the meeting so that their individual questions by some of the residents of the city, they can come up to you in person. So the first 4 people that I'm going to invite to come on up, 2 and 2, would be the Medina School Board candidates. And that's Aiden Haggard, Jean Pritchard, Victoria Drewley, and Aaron Hare without an E. So you can go 2 and 2, and that's the order that they will be in. So Aiden will speak first. You can have 4 minutes. You don't have to if you don't want to. So Aiden Hare.
Thank you. And I think I will do 4 minutes, please, if possible. Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you once again for your hospitality. I want to give you a quick fun fact. On average, the Medina City School District taxpayer pays $400 a month, roughly, in taxes to the school district alone. For that cost, you would justly have high expectations for your school district. Yet the Medina City School District received 3 out of 5 stars in both literacy and college, workforce, and military readiness. We are investing $100 million a year into the future of the United States through our community, and we ought to ensure that we have the greatest return on our investment that our community deserves. Are you content with the 60% on our state report card with literacy? Are you content with 24% of our students in the 3rd grade not being able to read at a 3rd grade level? Your children, your students, your community deserve better than this. And it doesn't have to be this way. I'm Aiden Haggard. I'm a proud Medina Bee and a proud recent graduate of Medina High School. And I understand what our students need to be successful in our community. I am a product of this school district, and through this unique insight, I bring a fresh understanding of the strengths and weaknesses of our schools to your school board. Through the lens of that unique perspective, I have 2 main goals that I would like to accomplish. First among these is financial responsibility through financial transparency. If we can make it easier for the average person to research and understand our financials, it is easier for you to hold us accountable. Secondly, we should have a stronger civic education. Our students should understand the American story, comprised of the American principles set forth in the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, etc., etc. I think our students should know this. I also believe that our students should be taught the struggles and triumphs to live up to those principles. Through this, all of our students can have a fine understanding of their role in our republic. Some people may have concerns about my youth. People have voiced that I should have a degree in business, decades of experience in the workforce, and then may I dare to run. Whilst I understand where these people are coming from, we are called to serve our community as citizen statesmen. Teddy Roosevelt tells us that the first requisite of a good citizen in this republic of ours is that he shall be able and willing to pull his own weight, that he shall not be a mere passenger, but shall do his share in the work that each generation of us finds ready to hand. And furthermore, that in doing his work, he shall not only the capacity for sturdy self-help, but also self-respecting regard for the rights of others. Inspired by this, I look forward to serving the community on the Medina City School Board. But to get there, I need your voice of confidence this upcoming elections. If you believe promises are meant for keeping, I humbly ask you vote Aidan Haggard for the Medina City School Board. To close, I believe it prudent to end with words from a wise statesman. Thomas Jefferson, writer of the Declaration of Independence and third president, says, "If a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and what never will be." The functionaries of every government have propensities to command at will the liberty and property of the constituents. There is no safe deposit for these but the people themselves. Nor can they be safe without information. Where the press is free and every man able to read, all is safe. Let's get these literacy rates higher. Thank you so much.
I forgot to mention that you will vote for 3 of these 4. So next would be Jean Pritchard.
I am the only incumbent up for re-election. I am also a proud graduate of the Medina City School System and a lifelong resident. I was a teacher and coach within the district, and while I don't have a lot of pretty quotes from famous people, I do have working knowledge of the Medina City School System. I would like to tell you 2 things that I accomplished during my first 4 years. First was we started a 2nd grade water safety program with the help of Jansen Worley and the rec department. So every 2nd grader, when they come through, will have water safety. And the second thing is that we started a program with investing in commercial paper. And for those of you that don't know what that is, these are short-term loans with a higher interest rate. And that was a way last fiscal year that we made over $2 million in interest, which translates into 1 less point on a levy if we had to go back for more. In the next 4 years, if I'm reelected, this is what I hope to do. 1 is reduce spending. 2, to increase all the rates that we are graded on in the report card. That includes the literacy rate, mathematics rate, and I mean, we did end up with 4.5 stars, and the one thing that was mentioned, the military and job placement. Remember, our children are also going to the Career Center, and they get credit for them for 2 years, even though they've been part of our school system for 10 years. I am also going to continue to work to make sure that there is not another levy on the ballot during these 4 years. I think that we need to be fiscally prudent, and there are many ways that we can do that. I want to improve our educational programs and improve and basically save public education, because the way that the state is headed, I'm not sure we are going to have public education as we know it today. And the last, while these are races that don't really have any party affiliation, and one person has been going around saying that they are the only fiscal conservative running, just to know that I am also fiscally conservative. This is the very first penny I earned when I did some work for my grandmother. So I just wanted to bring this to show you that I am very fiscally conservative. Thank you.
And again, our third of 4 candidates is Victoria Bruley.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me. My name is Victoria Drewley. I'm running for Medina City School Board because I believe that strong public schools are the heart and foundation of a strong community. I have 4 children in Medina City schools, and I've spent many years volunteering in PTOs, leading Kids First Medina, serving as the chair of Partnership Council, and serving on the district's facilities committee. Through these roles, I have seen firsthand the opportunities that our schools provide, as well as the challenges that they face. My experiences have taught me how important it is to keep students at the center of decisions while also making sure that the district is financially stable, responsible, and transparent with the community. One of the things that I love most about Medina is how many people find their way back here. Our students might leave to go to college or work or travel, but when it comes time to put down roots and start a family, so many of them choose to come home, to the community that shaped them, to neighbors who care, and to schools that give every student the opportunity to grow. That's the future that I hope for my own kids. When it's time for them to put down roots, I want them to see Medina as home, as a community where strong schools and connections make it more than just where we live, but where we belong. Looking ahead, my goals for serving on the board are clear. First, I want to make sure that every student has access to opportunities that prepare them for whichever path they choose after graduation. Second, I want to ensure financial stability for our district by advocating at the state level and by maintaining transparency at the local level. And third, I want to strengthen communications between the board, families, and the community so that all of our voices are heard in the shaping of our schools. Financial stability is about more than balancing budgets. It's also about protecting the people who make our schools work. Like many districts, we're already facing shortages in key areas such as paraprofessionals, bus drivers, and other support staff. And the national teacher shortage is expected to grow even more in the next 5 years. We need to make sure that Medina continues to be a district where people want to work, a place that attracts and retains excellent educators and support staff, because that helps to keep our schools strong. That is why it is so important to recognize that state funding has not kept pace with the real cost of educating a student. The shortfall places more of a burden on our local community in the form of property tax levies. And in a community like Medina, where people stay for generations, we also need to be mindful of our senior population. Strong schools, in theory, protect the value of everyone's home, but we have to recognize the pressures of these property taxes, especially for those on fixed incomes. At the end of the day, this is about ensuring that Medina continues to be the kind of community that people are proud to call home. I want my children and someday my grandchildren to look at Medina as a place worth coming home to because of the strength of our schools and the strength of our community. Thank you again for having me today and for all of the work that you do to make our community great to live in. I would be honored to earn your support and your vote on November 4th. Thank you.
And our fourth candidate for school board is Aaron Hare.
Good afternoon, Kiwanis members, and thank you for having us. My name is Aaron Hare, and I've been a resident of Medina for roughly 8 years. I work as a director of underwriting at Pi Insurance, which is a commercial insurance company based out of Denver, Colorado. I have 2 children in the Medina City School System, Brady, who's a 6th grader at Claggett, and Brinley, who is actually a senior at Medina High School. My wife, Taylor, is an educator for Akron Public Schools, where she's held a variety of roles both in and out of the classroom. She's currently an assistant principal there. I was previously president of Medina Youth Lacrosse for 3 years, and I currently serve on the Board of Education Finance Committee as a community member, also for roughly the last 3 years. During my time as Medina Youth Lacrosse president, I worked with many school and city leaders to put together, various events, one of which was Begataway, which I don't know if you've ever heard of, but it's a lacrosse tournament where about 100 teams come to Medina and have a great time and spend some money and fuel the economy. I saw what we can accomplish when we work together as a city and as a community. We are at a pivotal point for public schools in Ohio where funding is going to become an even larger issue than it already is today. Property taxes are at a breaking point, and absent the state legislature changing directions, we are going to have to live with this budget level for quite some time. It will be imperative to examine every expense and evaluate our return on investment with a precision focus. I believe my corporate and business experience makes me uniquely qualified for this. I lead a department of roughly 25 employees in a multi-million-dollar budget where we're constantly looking for operational efficiencies. As a school board, we need to build trust with a larger share of the community, and a big part of this is being fiscally responsible. We need to look for ways to expand private and public partnerships and sponsorships and leverage additional grant writing abilities, such as what we recently used to refurbish the track. In 2016, the district did a deep dive with the community, gathering feedback around a variety of topics, including facilities, academics, finance, extracurriculars, and community engagement. Through this process, they received roughly 200 pieces of feedback. We need to revisit this feedback, show the community what was done to implement and listen to that feedback, and do the exercise again. According to U.S. News and World Report, Medina High School ranked 60th in the state this year. Last year it was 68th, and in 2021 it was 129th. We need to continue this positive trend. Education is not a partisan issue. It's about shared values in our community's future. I'll work collaboratively with parents, teachers, and community members to make data-driven decisions. Our children deserve schools that prepare them for the future while supporting them today. I'm committed to practical common sense solutions that bring us together, not divide. My priorities are clear. Ensure academic excellence for all students, support our dedicated teachers with appropriate resources, and creating an environment for learning and success. I look forward to earning your vote and being your next school board member.
So even though we just clapped for Aaron, let's one more round of applause for our school board candidates who are hoping to serve you and make the best school system possible. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to, there's a couple changes because we have several people who said they were going to be here. They are not here. So I'm going to ask the two candidates for the at-large city council to come up and sit on one side or the other, and the two candidates for mayor to come on up and sit on the other side. Oops, or 1 and 1. I guess we'll do 1 and 1. And we will start with city council at large. You'll choose one, and James Skip Sipos will go first, and then Ed will be second.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for this opportunity to share with you the reasons why I'm running for City Council. There are two main reasons. First, I love Medina. I think it's a great place to live, work, worship, shop, and play. It's been unbelievable to raise my daughter in this city, and it's even more wonderful to watch her and her husband raise their two children right here in the city. That success that we enjoy in Medina is due in no small part to the vision and leadership of Medina Mayor Dennis Hanwell and City Council, and even the Finance Director. But as we all know, transition is coming to City Hall, and that's the second reason I'm running. The transition means we'll have a new mayor, we'll have new members on council. There likely will be retirements in key administrative positions. All of that transition, in my opinion, at this point in time in Medina's history, requires that we elect people to council who have experience in government, involvement in the community, and are informed about how the social service system works that serves our citizens. I believe I possess those qualifications. When I retire at the end of this year, I will have nearly 32 years as the Executive Director for the Medina Metropolitan Housing Authority, which is a unit of government. I'm a Leadership Medina County graduate and have served on numerous boards and commissions throughout the county, helping me to understand how the systems work here in the county. And I've been involved in the community in a bunch of different ways. And if Reggie was here, I'd talk about how I coached girls softball against her a long time ago. And I'm also involved in my church. It's an important part of my life. I believe this qualifies me to be a candidate for City Council, and I'm not alone in this assessment. My campaign is endorsed by Mayor Hanwell, by County Commissioner Steve Hambley, and by State Representative Sharon Ray. And that sounds a little bit on the partisan side, but I also have wonderful comments, and you can find them on my website, from other key community leaders. They include Pastor Luke Linden of Medina United Church of Christ Congregational. They include City Manager Carl DeForest in Brunswick. They include Stephanie Robinson, a Medina resident. That's how I have to refer to her, but I'm sure many of you know Stephanie. And even Paul Rose, member of council who's retiring, and that's the seat that I'm seeking. And for those of you who know Paul, he doesn't lend kind words or support for any individual or person without considerable discernment, I think is a fair way to put it. So I'm appreciative of the support that I'm receiving. If I'm elected, I want to focus on what will take to sustain the success of Medina. Focus on public safety, public service, and measured but important economic development. I'm hoping my message resonated with you today and that it resonates with the voters as they go to the polls. And at the appropriate time, I'm happy to entertain questions. Thank you for this opportunity.
And our second candidate for this position is Ed Isabella.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Ed Isabella. Like a handful of folks here, I'm a lifelong Medina resident. In fact, my first Little League team was sponsored by Kiwanis. We were a decent team. I wasn't very good. But I've been here all my life. Sidney Fenn, Claggett Middle School, Medina High School, graduated in '07. In fact, was Skip's daughter. And then went to Ohio State, got a degree in civil engineering. And then from there, I've earned my license as a professional engineer, and I work in construction management and construction quality control. I think Medina is a great place to live. That's why, you know, when I got done with school, I chose to move back. But I think we can be a little bit better. I think there's room for improvement, and I want to use my background in construction to improve those things. I mean, I think the couple of things that I'm pretty passionate about that I think we're, you know, that we're not, you know, meeting the needs of our residents as much as we could is our, you know, our sidewalk repair program, our street repair program, and then the traffic that we're dealing with, you know, with our square. We have a lot of pedestrian accidents over there. And then as far as the sidewalks and the roads, I think we can do a better job as far as getting those roadways repaired, you know, either more consistently or at a greater volume. Right now, our sidewalk repair program is put on the, you know, the shoulders of the person that lives at the house. To me, that's a public good, and the city should be able to, you know, either help reimburse those expenses for folks, or we should be actively, you know, repairing and paying for those programs ourselves. So, like I said, I think I have, you know, the background and the experience to do that, to accomplish those items. If I'm elected to city council, I'll be the first engineer on council in probably over 25 years, probably since I was a first or second grader, honestly. So I think it's time to have some new perspectives, some new ideas, and that's, you know, those are the main things I'm running for. What I try to do, you know, in my day-to-day life, you know, when I work in construction, I get calls, you know, from 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I'm out on job sites sometimes 24 hours a day, but I try to be accessible to folks. So if you look on the table, that's my cell phone. It's the only one I have. If you ever have questions or want to talk to me, my number is 330-321-4960. And yeah, if I got a guy working, I'm up. So just call me anytime, and I'm happy to answer your questions. And really looking forward to, you know, to making the case to be your councilman these last few weeks, and hope to receive your vote November the 4th. Thanks.
So unfortunately, you can only vote for one of these two gentlemen. We do have now two people. It's been a long time that we've had a change in mayors in the city of Medina, and we have two well-qualified people running for that position. I chose which order they would go in. So the first person to speak will be John Coyne.
Thank you, Nancy, and I want to thank Kiwanis for giving me the opportunity to speak to you this afternoon. I think to get to know a candidate, you have to get to know their background a little bit, so I'll tell you about my background. I'm a graduate from Buckeye High School. I was raised on a local farm in York Township. Over the years, I've learned that making $2 an hour baling hay is not the future, so I decided to go to college. I'm a graduate of the University of Tennessee, where I earned my major in finance. I went on to the Cleveland Marshall College of Law, where I obtained my law degree, and I couldn't stop. I continued and obtained my Master's of Business Administration at the Cleveland State University. After 19 and a half years, I figured I had to get a job. So then I became a lawyer. I've been practicing law for 30 years as a real estate transactional lawyer with the law firm of Retzel and Andrus. I married my wife, who was my high school sweetheart as I was a junior. We've been married for 32 years. We have 3 kids. We have Jacqueline, Jessica, and John the Fourth. The youngest is John the Fourth, and believe it or not, he's going to be 21. So that just tells you how old we get. So I'm very proud of that. And we do have one dog, Rosie, so I do appreciate that. We all love her very much. As part of my career growing up, I was fortunate enough to be blessed with some athletic ability, and I was a pole vaulter. I was an All-American high school pole vaulter at Buckeye. I attended the University of Tennessee, where I was a two-time All-American pole vaulter at the University of Tennessee, and I redshirted a year, but my senior year, I was a captain of the team, and we won the NCAA championships, which was a very great honor because not many people get that opportunity to be a part of a national championship team. So I'm very proud of that. As far as who I am and what I've done for the city of Medina, I've been a public servant for 27 years on city council, the last 13 of which I've been president of council. During that time on council, I developed the leadership skills and problem-solving ability to, transition well into the office of the mayor. The things that I've done on council help shape what Medina is today. For example, I created the 5-year fiscally conservative budget plan, which has the concept of, and this is the key, the concept of carry forward funds. What that means to you is, as a government employee, you usually get a budget. And most governments say, here's your budget. And if you, usually at the end of the year, if you don't spend it, we're going to take it back. So what does that do? That encourages the department head to spend the money. So I said, wait a minute, that doesn't make a lot of sense. How about if you save it, you get to keep it. We won't take it back. And then you could use it on a project of your choice in your department, whether it be a playground set, a new vehicle, delay those costs as much as possible, save as much money, then you can have the project you always dreamed to have without having to go back to council to get approval for financing. So last year, over the 20 years we've had this in place, we carried forward $13.4 million. So that's available and have already been set aside for the department heads to use that money for projects that they want to use. So that's a great thing that we have in the city. Other things I've done is the Christmas lights on the square. We put the Christmas lights on the square. It's a great community event. The location of the restrooms on the square, the median islands down on Route 42, the JED districts that we have with Montville and Lafayette, and the CETA agreement with York Township. Those are the things that I have done for the city that help shape it. In the future, the biggest challenge we have for our city, I believe, is safety. This safety comes in many different forms. It comes safety on the roadway, safety on the crosswalks, safety on our sidewalks, and safety with deer car incidents. Believe it or not, we have over 142 deer hit by car and killed last year. We're expected to have about 180 this year. That is not a great program. We need a better program. We need a comprehensive program to solve that. And I think that I could be, as mayor, implement a program that will help keep our community safe. So when you go to the voting booth this, I guess, pre-election or election day, remember, vote coin for mayor of the city of Medina. I am the candidate that gets things done. Hey, stop that.
And our second candidate is Jim Shields.
Thank you, Nancy, and thank you, fellow Kiwanians. It's a pleasure to be here today. Running for office, I always think of the Charles Dickens novel, It's the Best of Times and It's the Worst of Times. I've certainly learned this on the campaign trail, but I'll tell you what the best of times were. It's when people ask me, why do you want to do this? And I say, I'll tell you why I want to do it. It's 2 reasons. The first is because the last few years, as people knew that Mayor Hanwell was going to retire after 16 years, I'd go in a restaurant, I'd go in a business, I'd talk to residents, and they're like, Jim, you should consider doing this. And that meant a lot to me. If people believe in you and feel that you might be the person to follow Dennis Hanwell, you don't take that lightly. I'm very humbled by that. The second thing that I thought about is my favorite guiding principle in life is that the opportunity of life is to serve, the beauty of life is to give. And that is what I've tried to do my entire life to my hometown. I am a Medina guy through and through. I have great passion for this city that I love and that I live in, and I always feel I need to give back. The reason I've done that and the ways I've done that is to be involved, Kiwanis, 33 years I've been a member of this club. 20 other service organizations, institutions that I've been a part of, because that's how I was raised. That's what you do. You give back for the greater good. I can guarantee you, if elected mayor, it's not going to be about me, because the one thing I've learned in 24 years of being on council and many years of serving this community is you do it together. It's the businesses, it's the residents, it's the service clubs. We all come together and decide, let's do what's best for Medina. And that will be my guiding principle if I'm elected mayor, because I've learned that also from Mayor Hanwell, is that don't take credit for Jim for the things you do, Jim. Just keep working with people, leverage your resources, leverage the relationships you've had in Medina, the opportunities you've been given. Bring people together to do what's best for Medina. And that was what I can guarantee you I will do if elected mayor. The other thing I want to do is that I feel Medina has been on an incredible trajectory for the last 16 years here. I don't want to lose that. I want to keep that momentum going. We are the envy of Northeast Ohio. You look at the awards we win, both Northeast Ohio, statewide, nationally, we are such the envy of other cities because we do what's best for residents. We try to always enhance services and quality of life issues. We will continue to do that. I want to be a part of it. I feel like I've been a part of it for all of my life here, and I will promise you that that's my approach to being mayor, is serving our residents, doing what's best for the greater good, never putting myself first, but putting Medina first, because that's what I was raised, that's what I believe in. I will bring people together, I will listen to people. I start every conversation I have with somebody with, let me understand your point of view first, as opposed to telling them what my point of view is. I want to do the best I can to represent all Medina residents. I'm very proud of the coalition of people that are supporting me here in this race. I don't want to let anybody down. I don't want to let you down, my fellow Kiwanians. I will do my best if elected mayor, and I do ask on November 4th if you consider voting for Jim Shields for mayor. Thank you.
Again, I really appreciate those people that want to serve their community, so one more hand for these four gentlemen. Okay, we have two funding issues on the ballot. The first one is a renewal for McDack, and the sheriff is graciously here to tell us why we should continue that.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you again for allowing me this opportunity. It's always good to come to the Kiwanis meeting, not just for this, but just the dialogue that we always have with each other. I'm going to give a little of my time to the candidates because Nancy said it. I want to thank all of you for your willingness to run for all of these positions because it's not easy, right? To put yourself out there in these elected positions, and each one of them is critical. So again, thank you for that. But my specific topic today is the renewal of the anti-drug levy. And this, again, I want to preface, is a renewal. Back in 2006 was the first change, and actually in 2006 it was a reduction. Currently, it's a 0.35 mil levy that's collecting at 0.22 mils, which generates a little bit over $1.8 million. And I understand levies right now is a difficult topic, right? No one is in favor of some of these levies, but I just have to really illustrate, this is the renewal. Right now, it's per $100,000, it's $7.08. Some people want to say, ooh, that's not a lot, and it isn't a lot because what it funds is the complete operation of our drug task force minus what other grants they receive, and then our school resource officers for each of our school districts. That partially funds 13 school resource officers. Now, I know we have people running for school board. School resource officers has evolved over time. It's no longer just somebody, I guess, being noticeable on the playground. It's an unfortunate situation we find ourselves in, but it is now a staple of the schools. Not only are they there for the safety of our students, staff, and visitors, but they're also there to create a positive relationship with the students at a young age. If we create that at a young age, that transforms throughout the school, throughout your senior year into adulthood. So it is an investment, sure, in the safety, but it's also an investment in society, right? Building that positive relationship with our youth. It is critical, and we have seen the benefits of that, not only at the sheriff's office, but throughout the entire county. And again, I want to illustrate, point out, this is the entire county. So this is Brunswick, Wadsworth, Medina, Cloverleaf, Buckeye, Highland, and the Career Center. All of our residents and all of our school districts benefit from this. The Drug Task Force is the sole agency to investigate drug crimes. With the help of the health department, our overdose rates has plummeted over the last 5 years. Are we ever going to get to zero? No. I will be the first person to tell you that. But we have definitely drastically reduced those numbers. And each one of those numbers is a family, is a person. They have loved ones. So all of the programs that we have are about families. And so when we can get to this point where we're working together, as I think has been said, collaborating together, it is very important. So again, I understand it is a levy, but I just want to point out it is a renewal. It is $7.08 per 100,000. So on a $500,000 house, obviously that's $34.40. So none of us are taking that for granted, and we would absolutely appreciate your support on November 4th. So thank you very much.
And there's one other funding issue, and that is for our county parks. And Nathan Epping, who is an epic in his own right, is going to tell you why you need to vote for that levy.
Thanks, Nancy. That'll be hard to top as an introduction. Thank you to Kiwanis for the invitation. Again, I'm Nate Epping, the Director of Medina County Park District. 2025 is an important year for the Park District for two reasons. First, we're on the ballot. Second, it's our anniversary. Let's talk about that anniversary just briefly. We were established April 19th of 1965. It's our 60th year. And back in 1965, 60 individuals attended the hearing before the probate judge in favor of establishing a park district when Medina County, which was much less developed than it is today. There may have been some folks back then, some folks even now, who think there's plenty of open space. Why do we need to keep protecting and funding the park district? We manage 9,000 acres as an organization, something that we were able to announce this summer. For perspective, 9,000 acres is a little more than 3% of Medina County that is protected by the park district. We have 24 different park areas that are open for recreation, and we have 60 different trails throughout the park district. Let's talk about the levy and how it's important. Many of you might be wondering, why now? And why a small increase? I just received my reappraisal letter. I did too, and we don't take that lightly. The Park District has no permanent funding. The levy that was approved in 2015 will expire at the end of 2026. So this represents, November 4th, the first time that we could appear on the ballot. The alternative would be waiting until next year, the final year of collection for the Park District. So what are we asking for? It is a renewal of a 1 mil levy with a $0.25 mil increase. And I don't want you to focus on the millage. Sheriff Grice did a nice job of explaining the other issue. Millage is very hard to understand. Let's talk about the return on investment and the actual cost. So the auditor's office has certified that a vote for the Park District's renewal with a $0.25 mil increase will cost a property owner $31 per $100,000 of valuation. So if you have a property that's worth $200,000, quick math, you will pay $62 for the entire year to protect 3% of the county, have access to 24 parks and preserves, and growing 60 different trails. If your property's worth $500,000, you will pay $155 for the entire year for the Park District. I ask that you keep in mind that we have no permanent funding. We are looking to preserve what people love about the county in 16 of the 17 townships. Nothing against Hinckley, Nancy, but Cleveland Metro Parks owners do pay into the Cleveland Metro Parks. So November 4th, please consider the Park District and think about what we provide to people of all abilities throughout this community, and that we are preserving what you love about Medina County. Thank you.
What time is it? Oh, That's good. So the fact that we had some candidates not show up does mean that we will have time for questions. At this point, if, for example, I'm just going to give an example, if there's a question for the mayor, both candidates will come up and each will have an opportunity to answer, as well as if other candidates for the other offices.
I have a question for Nate.
Nate,
Can I ask Nate?
you're up, Nate.
Well, people are thinking about, I know you guys have questions, so I'm going to think on it. So, Nate, I'm sure you guys thought about this strategically, but, so you guys are doing a renewal with a small increase. Now, you could have replaced with a decrease, and people would have heard decrease instead of increase on the ballot. But that, I'm sure you thought about that. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Okay, I was going to try to repeat that question. I am not going to try doing that, but I'm sure Nate will be able to answer the question.
And I have 26 minutes, right? No. Right. Okay. To fund the park district, to fund schools, to fund any public institution or organization, the health department, you could put a new tax on the ballot, or you could place a renewal on the ballot. The state legislature has eliminated replacements as a possibility for parks. Maybe that's true of other institutions, I'm not sure. But until now, we could have put a replacement on the ballot. Replacement uses your new current value. So if that letter that you receive from the auditor's office says, wow, my house is now worth $50,000 more, a replacement would have charged you with that new valuation. That's not an option for us. So what we have is a renewal of 1 mil. And without getting too in the weeds, because it's complicated, that 1 mil is actually 2 previous levies. It's a 3/4 mil that was passed in 2005 that is collecting at less than 50% of its worth or the current value of your home. And then 10 years ago, there was a 1/4 mil increase on top of that. So we're continuing that trend of renewal with a 1/4 mil. Well, that additional 1/4 mil from 10 years ago is collecting at less than 70%. So the buying power is not where it should be. As you know, at home and at work in your businesses, nothing is less expensive today than it was 6 months ago. We are growing as an organization to preserve what people love about the county, to acquire land, build trails, and do those things now while it is possible. So I appreciate the question. A replacement, we did ask the auditor's office about that in the spring. What would a replacement do with just 1 mil or less than? And we had many different scenarios. But not only is a replacement not possible, a replacement could have also cost even more than a renewal with a small increase.
The question for our 2 mayoral candidates, they are both employed full-time. What are their intentions if they are elected?
So 24 years ago, when Jane Lever became mayor, the mayor of the city of Medina became a full-time job. So if you're running for mayor, you better be prepared to have it be your full-time job. And I think both John and I realize that. I will tell you it's very hard in the current position that I'm in, is that they can't make a decision about replacing me until November 4th, and I've got to start this other position on January 1. So will there be some time on the evenings and weekends that I have to transition out of the schools and make sure that we can leave the schools in good shape? We have 1,000 employees at the school on an average when you add in our subs. Those are very near and dear to me, and I pride myself in taking good care of them, and I don't want to leave them high and dry. So the people that I work with at the schools always joke, it's like, Jim, you work all day, you go over to City Hall. Why can't you just reverse that? Go to City Hall all day and then come work second shift at the school. So I don't know how long I can do that, but I will try to do that. But my full-time job will be Mayor of Medina, and that's where my obligation and commitment of time will be.
Thank you. Yes, and as a real estate attorney that has been practicing 30 years, I too will step down from being an attorney, but you can't do that immediately. I don't think clients would like if we're in the middle of a transaction and I say, okay, I'm out. You guys finish it yourself. So there's going to always be, as Jim mentioned, even in his position, a time of transition that you have to get the deals closed, you have to make sure that the client is taken care of, because the job that you hold currently, you can't leave the people, hanging out there without completing the task that you committed to do maybe 6 months ago or a year ago. At least in a real estate transaction, it can take some time to get that done. So yes, a full-time job is the mayor, and I'm committed to being the full-time mayor, but there will be a transition time that will occur, as in every probably job, to transition and give the work to another partner in the firm or another associate in the firm, while helping close the deals that are currently active. Thank you.